I think the simplest thing is that after everyone speaks, we say, we're here for you.
And at first I was like, I don't know what that even is. And I came, and it's such an important part of my day now.
I never really tried the Frenchwood soup before Soup Troupe. It really opened my eyes to a whole new part of the Frenchwood's dining hall.
Soup Troupe is really inclusive, and Soup Troupe is a place where everybody can just come and talk about soup when it's good, and also complain about soup when it's bad, because we all deserve a good bowl of soup in our lives.
Well, I never thought that I could ever meet a group of people so welcoming and kind and loving.
I never have soup other than Frenchwoods.
We know the kitchen staff just works so hard making these delicious soups for us every day. And just Soup Troupe is just the way we want to thank them and show that they're truly appreciated.
Being able to talk amongst my peers here at Frenchwoods about the daily soups has really enhanced my daily life.
Soup Troupe has really brought me and Ray close together. Yes. I don't think we would have been this close if it hadn't been for the soup that we get every day.
It's really helpful.
We're here for you.
I felt like I was the only one who could express my love for soup in such a dynamic way.
Thank you, Soup Troupe.
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 Thank you, Soup Troupe. Thank you, Frenchwoods.
Hey Soup Troupe, it's Cole. One of your founders. I wanted to thank Soup Troupe for being such an inclusive space. I love you all. Keep enjoying soup and send me a mushroom and brie.
Hello, my name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to Soup Troupe Online.
I'm so excited for this episode, you guys. So for a little bit, for those of you who are first-time soupers, we are Soup Troupe Online. We started at Frenchwoods Festival upstate in Hancock, New York, about 2017. And we thought that it was really important for soup to be discussed in such a dynamic way. Taste, texture, viscosity, presentation, all of the above. And during the coronavirus pandemic, we decided that it would be a great idea to come online and bring some amazing guests to you across the country. So here we are.
We have such a wonderful lineup today, and we are so excited to interview these lovely guests. But before we do, I want to bring up sort of a controversial issue that has been on my mind recently. Danny, what do you think of the stigma of soup season? Should there be a soup season?
All right. This is a very pressing moment in my life. I've actually, a lot of my friends recently have been like, Soup Troupe, it's soup season. Like, finally, this is going to line up. And I mean, that is a little hurtful. I personally, Danny and I did Soup Troupe every summer. And so soup is clearly a summer food. And obviously soup is a winter food. And so, you know, I think that soup, there's a time and place for soup, and it's all the time and in all the places.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. So how this came up in my mind is I was with my mom, and she was talking about how it's no longer ice cream season, which I disagree with. I can eat ice cream at any time, any season, anytime. And it made me think about soup and how everyone has been talking about how now it's the soup season. I don't think there should be a specific season for soup. Soup is an all-time, like just a delicacy, you know? And so why should we assign a season to a soup? I don't understand it. And I just wanted to address it here on Soup Troupe because I know that everyone is very passionate about soups here. And I understand that designating a whole season for it, we can have soup whenever we want.
I agree. I'm glad we brought that up. It is time for our first special guest today. We are so excited to welcome Anthony Norman. You probably know him from the Broadway production of Prom. He was in the Newsies National Tour, also the film version on Netflix. He was recently Tom Lyons in Chicago Men, and he's about to be Nathan Ford on Mayor of Easttown with Kate Winslet. And he's currently in Social Distance, which is on Netflix streaming right now. So we are so excited to welcome Anthony Norman.
Woo!
Hi, welcome to Soup Troupe. We're so happy to have you here.
I am honored to be here. Are you kidding me? I brought one of my favorite soup finds from quarantine because, so it's kind of like Newman's Own, but it's not. It's a vegan split pea. It's gluten-free. And I found it through Amazon Fresh. And it's a smash hit.
Wow, it looks like a smash hit. That looks delicious. It also looks like an easy soup to just like have whenever.
Exactly, and you can add some bacon. You can add some veggies to it. It's I'm surprised by it, to say the least. How are you guys?
Where did you get that soup? Where'd you get it?
Amazon Fresh.
Oh, wow, you already said that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's a very exciting time.
Yeah, it sounds very convenient. That sounds
definitely.
Is split pea Anthony Norman's favorite soup? Is that?
No, it was just a recent discovery. I think my favorite soup changes. It used to be minestrone when I was a kid, and then it went to chicken noodle, a classic. And I think my favorite soup might be lobster bisque.
Ooh.
Not to brag, but yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I actually don't know. I'll say lobster bisque.
Yeah, okay. If you're ever in Princeton, New Jersey, Princeton Soup and Sandwich has the best lobster bisque in the world.
Really?
No. Yeah.
All right, I gotta make the trek. I got nothing else going on.
Exactly.
So the first question that we like to ask all of our guests is, what is your favorite soup memory?
That's a good question. It goes back to when I was about, I don't know, like 10 or 11. I'm from Chicago, so I was still living at home, and my mom would take my grandma to dialysis once a week, and before we would go have lunch, and I would always go with them. And we went to this place called Super Cup, and it was spelled SOUPER. And it's no longer in business, which is so sad, because they had the best chicken noodle soup I have ever had in my life. And I would get that every time. And that is my favorite soup memory.
I love that. Wow.
Thanks.
I'm mourning now. Super time, you said?
Super Cup.
Super Cup.
Super Cup.
Wow.
Yeah, many other businesses have tried to open it at that same location, and all of them have failed.
Wow.
Nothing can replace Super Cup.
Clearly.
All right, so we know you made your Broadway debut in the Prom. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So now, if you were at the Prom, per se, what soup? So you go to the punch bowl, you go to get your date some punch, but there's no punch and there's only soup. What soup are you having at the Prom?
Italian wedding.
Ooh.
I know it's a very unconventional soup to have, especially for a bunch of teenagers, but it's light, but it's hearty enough to, last you through the night. Because, you're dancing at 1,000,000 miles per hour. Every number. And, yeah, Italian wedding. I stand by that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks.
As a former newsie, we want to ask you, how do you dance 8 shows a week? And are there any soups that help you in your recovery or soups that help you dance to your greatest potential?
That's a good question. All these are really good questions. A chowder is great. I don't love a chowder, but also a potato soup, like potato leek. Oh, no, I have to tell you, sorry. My favorite soup is something called Tom Kha, and it's Vietnamese. It's Vietnamese/Thai soup. It's like a coconut-based soup, and yeah, Tom Kha is my favorite soup, maybe ever. I would say a potato leek soup really helps because it's like I said, it's hearty enough, but it's also light enough to where, let's say you're between shows on a 2-show day, and you're like, I don't really want anything, and I'm kind of in a hurry, so I'll go grab a cup of soup. Yeah, I would say a potato soup or a chicken noodle, honestly, because you got your carbs, you got your proteins, but you still feel light enough to where you're not gonna, hurl on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good answer.
Thanks.
So we were wondering, we know that you're also on the screen. You're in Chicago Med. You're about to be with Kate Winslet on Mayor of Easttown. I'm having time. So we're wondering, are there any soups on set that have been served to you? If so, which are your favorite?
Oh yeah. At craft services, there's always a rotating soup, and my favorite one was chicken tortilla. Yeah, and it was a very popular one because everyone loved it. So our craft services woman, Patty, would have it on rotation pretty often. And, I wasn't on set every day because I was just a recurring role. So whenever I would travel to Philadelphia and then go on set, it would usually be chicken tortilla, and it was always the best because it always paired well with the steak, chicken, and veggie tacos that Patty would have prepared too. And, yeah. That's the best part of TV is craft services.
Yeah, that's like a gourmet meal. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Oh yeah, it's serious. I think there's a whole union for craft services, and yeah, it's legit. It's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, shout out to all those people. They're the best.
That sounds absolutely amazing. I want to like go and hang out with craft services.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you should get into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into television just so I can have the food.
Please.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
So we also know that you play so many different instruments:
I do.
guitar, clarinet, saxophone, and the flute, just to name like a few. And we were wondering if you had to write a soup symphony, what instruments would be involved? Number one, what soup would each movement center around, and what orchestra is playing you out?
What orchestra?
Yeah, if you could pick like any orchestra from any part of the world.
I'll answer that first. The Metropole Orchestre in, I think they're in London, right? London or Amsterdam, something. The Metropole Orchestre. I think they're based in London.
Mm-hmm.
So them for sure. What was your first question? Which instruments?
Yeah, which instruments and what soups would the movements be based around?
Good question. Minestrone for sure, because it's a very musical name already. Minestrone. It's got height and like lavishness to it.
Yeah.
A harp for sure. Harp, strings, like meaning like a viola, violin, a cello for sure. It gives a very heavy brothy sound. Yeah, I think strings and woodwinds for sure. No brass. Like, you won't catch me with that brass in my soup orchestra. Yeah, it's my final answer.
Wow. That sounds like a beautiful piece. I can't wait to see it. You sound like the next Mozart, really.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Spotify in 2 weeks. So
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep in touch about our Soup Live performance, and then
Thank you.
We'll know where our overtures come from.
Thank you.
We'll let the orchestra in London know that they booked.
Yeah. Oh, they know already. I texted them right before this.
Got it. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, now is the time of day in which we have to introduce our question and answer session. If you have a question for Anthony Norman, leave them in the comments below. We will get to them if we can. All right, going right into this. From Andy J, he says, if you had to go swimming, completely submerged in any kind of soup, what soup would you choose and why?
I will choose. It's another Vietnamese dish. It's called pho.
Oh, I love pho.
Yeah, I would love to swim in that because it's not only really good for you, and you can wade through it well because it's so light, but it's so delicious, and I wish there was a candle because I would light that because I would want that smell, in my house. So pho.
Wow.
Yeah, I think now that you bring it up, I think that I would also want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, you really don't want something like a potato, like loaded potato, because then you're swimming in like the bacon. Yeah, no, I think it's like a nice pho.
Yeah. I'm also going to reach out to Yankee Candle. I know they'd be really interested in a new scent, and I think that pho would for sure be like the next top scent on their candles.
Yeah, like wasn't there a company back in the 90s or something called Yankee Bean, and they came out with a soup, like a chunky soup? Where's Yankee Candle coming out with a soup candle? What's going on with that?
Yeah, I'll just reach out. I know they'd be super interested in that.
Thank you.
They might even do stars to make like a potato chip for like the Lay's competition every year.
Yeah, that too.
That might be my next move.
That actually sounds like a really good idea, like soup potato chips.
It can be done.
That excites.
They've done worse.
They have. They really. All right. This next question comes from Ms. Anna Spenley. She says, "It's Christmas time. Instead of kissing under the mistletoe, you have to kiss across a bowl of soup. What soup sets the mood?"
Split pea. Because you're like two peas in a pod.
That was beautiful.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
All right. This comes from Sam Vanna. He says, "Which kind of soup, if it were funneled into a water gun, would provide you tactical superiority in a water gun battle royale?"
Tomato soup. Because if you get it in your opponent's eyes, it kind of burns a little bit.
It also stains.
Exactly. You have the upper hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, and our final question for today comes from Anna Spenley. She says, "Instead of filling your stocking with coal, if you've been naughty, you fill it with soup. What kind of soup would replace coal?"
Tomato soup, because no one wants it.
I want tomato soup.
I'm so sorry, Danny. Are you eating tomato soup by itself?
I mean, sometimes. I mean, it's best paired with the grilled cheese.
Right. Right, but it's best, you just said it, it's best paired with something.
Okay.
It's not best on its own.
It is good on its own, though. It really is.
Yeah, it's good. It's not the best.
Okay. Fine, you win.
I win. You heard it here first, everybody.
Anthony Norman has one soup troop, everyone.
Thank you.
I think that's all the time we have for questions today.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for coming. This was lovely to have you here. And thank you for all your soup knowledge. Although you don't claim to like tomato soup as much as the rest of us here, we still accept you. And on that note, on the count of 3, everyone at home, welcome us in a 1, 2, 3. We're here
for you.
Oh my god, this has been so fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
That was Anthony Norman. You simply must follow everything he does on Instagram at @anorms. We are so happy to have had him, and you simply must catch him in all of the things coming out and that are out, such as Social Distance on Netflix and I keep forgetting what it's called, The Mayor of Easttown with Kate Winslet in March on HBO. You simply have to watch it. All right, we are time for our next guest here on Soup Troop. We are so excited to welcome Mr. Lance Rubin. He has done so many things, such as being the co-book writer of Broadway Bounty Hunter with Joe Iconis and Jason Sweet-Tooth Williams. He's been seen in Joe Iconis' Blood Song of Love and The Plant That Ate Dirty Socks and Hellraisers at Barrington Stage Company. He's the author of the Denton Little books and currently Crying Laughing, which is available right now in stores on Amazon. You must go see everything he does. And most importantly, I know Lance Rubin because when I was 10 years old, we were in a show together at Human Theater at Northport, A Wonderful Life. I am so excited to welcome Mr. Lance Rubin.
Yeah! Hi, Danny and Danny.
Welcome. We're so happy to have you here on Soup Troop.
I am so glad to be here, and I have to say I loved that intro. The Soup Troop intro made me very nostalgic for my time at French Woods. It was really nice to see that. It was so sweet.
Do you feel like regret that you didn't have a safe space to talk about soup when you were going to
regret? That was the other thing. I felt nostalgia, but also a loss for something I didn't even know I was missing until I saw that sequence. I was 2 decades too early to French Woods for Soup Troop.
It's true.
It's bittersweet.
We have to let you in on a little something. So I'm sure you remember Troop Night. It's the night in which Cab Troop and Improv Troop, now there's a junior Cab Troop, they all perform.
Oh.
Well, in 2018, Soup Troop made its debut at Troop Night, rating a soup live for an audience. And we've done a performance every session since. We've done live songs, we've done videos.
That's amazing.
Yes, we have really swept French Woods by storm.
You have.
In the soup arena, of course. How is Danny looking since you last saw him at 10 years old?
Amazing. Amazing. He is an adult now.
Don't look
shocking. Because I feel like for me in those 10 years, I'd look, similar-ish, the lines on my face a little more pronounced. But But you have changed in those 10 years.
Thank you. I thought I looked the same, but
Exactly the same. Sorry, that's what I meant. You look the same.
All right, so our first question that we like to ask is, what is your favorite soup memory?
Yes. So I was thinking about this already as Anthony was answering. I think for me, the first thing that came into my mind, and it was something I don't think about a lot, was going to Chili's in high school. This was the first time I really felt excited about a soup, I think. So this is how I'm answering this question. The broccoli and cheese soup at Chili's, that became a soup that like I was going to seek out that soup. And I would be excited to go to Chili's to start my meal with the broccoli cheese soup. I couldn't just order an entree at Chili's. It had to be the broccoli cheese soup. And so I didn't even know that was a memory I was kind of holding on to until you said soup memory. And then I thought that's when soup has been most meaningful to me. I haven't had that soup in a long, long time. But in high school, that was the thing.
maybe it's
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Broccoli cheddar is my favorite soup.
It's your favorite.
It is my all-time favorite soup.
That's amazing, Danny. That's amazing. So
I'm glad we're covering these memories here at Soup Troop.
yeah, this is so nice. And that also gives me hope that it would hold up. Like if it is still your favorite soup, maybe I would try to still satisfy.
Well, Chili's, look out for Lance Rubin because he's
I'm coming.
So we know that you are an author. Congratulations on all of your very successful books.
Thank you so much.
So we were wondering, as one, what inspired you to write young adult books, and how did you get into that? And
Great.
two, if you were to write a young adult book about soup, which soup is it about? What stands in the soup's way? What's their main conflict? How do they overcome it? And who is publishing?
Oh my God. Okay. This is good. This is when you gave Anthony that question about like using musical instruments for soup, I was like, this is hard. And so now this is mine. So yes, writing young adult novels. So I had been an actor, went to French Woods, went to college for theater, got out into the world, was doing the acting thing. But you know, in high school and middle school, all that, I always loved teen dramas. The shows I loved at that point were Dawson's Creek. It's back on Netflix now if people want to check out what I'm talking about. Dawson's Creek was circa, I think it started in 1997, but I was really into Felicity. So, okay, so I was into all these teen dramas. But I always imagined I wanted to act on these teen dramas. The OC was one that I loved too. That was when I was getting out of college. But so I was trying to be on these teen dramas, and I was also doing theater, also doing some comedy stuff, and acting. You know, I still love acting now, but like the career of acting was really hard. I wasn't enjoying it so much, like the auditioning, the rejection, the lack of a routine in your day. That was all really not things I liked. And I had this 1 month where I was facing a lot of rejection as an actor. I'd been dropped by my agent, by my manager. And I was just like, what am I doing? And I'd had an idea for a screenplay. I thought it was maybe a movie I would write that I'd been carrying around in my head for a couple of years. And I thought, actually, first, I read The Hunger Games during this time when I was feeling so dejected as an actor. Was really excited by it. I was like, wow, this is cool. This is like what YA is now. And so then I took that screenplay idea I had in my head and I was like, maybe I'll try and write this as a young adult novel. Not necessarily thinking I would actually be able to do anything with it. I just needed to do something creative that I could control. And so I started writing it. That book turned out to be Denton Little's Death Date. Oh yeah, I do have it here. I just need to hold it up. So you see what I'm talking about. This book, nope, it's the sequel. This book, the paperback cover is different now, but anyway, Denton Little's Death Date, which it takes place in a world where everybody knows the day they're going to die. It's like a dark comedic adventure. The main character, Denton Little, his death date is tomorrow. So he's known his whole life he's going to die at age 17. Death date is tomorrow. Once the day comes, he starts realizing, oh my God, I'm going to die. This is horrible. But a lot of weird things happen that day. And it's a wild, funny, dark comedy. So, and then I became a YA author. Now, let me talk about my soup book. When I mentioned the broccoli cheese soup, funnily enough, in my most recent book, Crying Laughing, that broccoli cheese soup comes up in a very pivotal scene, I realized. There's a scene I set at Chili's, probably because of this soup memory. Right. Makes sense. It doesn't happen until later in the book. I don't want to give anything away, but I just needed to say that. Like, I have included a soup
Oh my gosh.
very prominently in one of my novels already.
There it is.
And that's Crying Laughing. That one does not have a fantastical element to it like this one does. This is just set in our world, a contemporary novel. It actually involves a lot of improv comedy. It involves theater games, which I first experienced at French Woods. It all comes back to French Woods, is my point. Let me come up with a brand new concept for a soup book. Okay. This is going to be a book. Okay. Yes. The soup is going to be borscht, the soup I love. This is like a Ukrainian, Eastern European beet-based soup. Okay. And I think in this novel, there's a teenager who's he's never really, let's say all of his ancestors that could have connected him to his Eastern European ancestry are dead. So he has no connection, right? He has no connection to who he really is and that part of him. Let's say he's like me, Eastern European Jew, but he has no connection to that. I think eating this borscht somehow sends him down this journey where he gets to understand who he is and how the borscht and its delicious, it's deceiving deliciousness is much like him, and the borscht becomes this link to his past. I think that's the young adult novel I'd want to write.
Wow.
Thanks for asking. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That sounds amazing.
Thanks, Danny. Thank you. You inspired that. That was I never would have put together if I had not.
You have to write the book now.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to think of a title. Probably a borscht pun. But,
all right. Congratulations on your run of Broadway Bounty Hunter.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We want to know, what was it like to see your work performed by Annie Golden, Brad Oscar, Alan H. Green, and the rest of your company? And if you had to cast soups as Annie, Lazarus, and Mac Roundtree, what soups would they be and why?
God. Oh my God. This is great. To answer your first question, it was amazing. I mean, yeah, it was such a dream. We'd been writing that show for over a decade, and then for it to make it to that stage in the summer of 2019 off Broadway with Annie Golden, like you're saying, Brad Oscar, Alan H. Green, a whole entire incredible cast bring it to life was a dream. It's the best. It's the pinnacle of what you could hope for as a musical theater writer. They are all such incredible talents and such good people. They're just like these big-hearted, wonderful people. Okay, so now I have to give them soups. I had listed some soups I love just so I wouldn't blank. Soup blank. Oh my God. Okay, well, let's start with Alan H. Green. He just nails that role of Lazarus, and his singing. I mean, everything in that performance, his singing, his acting, it's just like the full, whatever, triple threat, whatever you want to say. But Anthony Norman mentioned lobster bisque earlier as being his favorite soup. It's one of my favorites as well, and I feel like Alan H. Green is the lobster bisque. Okay, it's just like delicious, but there's a subtlety, and there's just an emotional resonance. So he's the lobster bisque. And granted, lobster bisque is associated with red, so Annie with her red hair, maybe she should have been the lobster bisque, but I can only look forward. Annie, I think, actually, or Anthony was knocking tomato soup, but I think tomato soup, when done right, as Danny, as you mentioned, can be amazing.
Thank you.
And tomato soup is what it is, and it's not what's the word? It's not hiding who it is. It is tomato soup, but when done well, it's incredible. So Annie is the tomato soup, and I mean that in the best way. Because she is unique, she is wonderful, and she is who she is. Making no apologies for that, and I feel that's why she's such a force. So she's a tomato soup. Alan's a lobster bisque, and Brad Oscar as the villainous Mac Roundtree. What soup is he? What is the right villainous, like in your face soup? Okay. Maybe it's like a really. I want a soup with like a spicy kick. Oh, he's like a soup. There's like some jalapeno in there. Maybe it's like what soups have I had with jalapeno? I've definitely had a soup that's like got a hint of jalapeno and it's just amazing. It's just like kicks you in the throat.
Maybe like a chili, like a type of chili.
Let's do that. Let's do Brad Oscar's a magnificently crafted chili with jalapeno. Yeah, he is just the sweetest man. But what he brought to this performance was the opposite of sweet. He just like hit all the right villainous notes, 3-dimensional villain. So chili with jalapeno. That's probably not right. I could probably think about that longer from other time, but let's do that. Thank you.
Brad, we'll get back to you, Brad.
Yeah.
We'll let you know. We'll be in
I can do better.
So we know that you live in Brooklyn. Are there any amazing soups in Brooklyn that we have to try, and where can we get them?
Yes. Well, okay. This is fun. Right near me, there now. Okay, this pertains to soup season, so I don't want to offend anybody, but right near me, there's an ice cream place called Louis G's. In the summer, it's an ice cream place, but in October, it switches over and becomes a place called the Soup Bowl, and it stays open till March or April, at which point it changes back into an ice cream place. So,
We did not plan this. This was not planned.
no, we totally didn't.
This is purely coincidence that I spoke about this in the
Really
beginning of the episode.
I agree. Soup season goes year round, obviously, right? You had Soup Troop. It formed in the summer.
Of course.
There's no denying it. But Soup Bowl is up and running right now, and they make fantastic soups. I've actually had, I forget if they call it the lobster bisque, but I think they call it the lobster chowder there. But I've gotten that quite a bit, and it's fantastic. It's located, you just Google it, but it's Park Slope Soup Bowl. Highly recommend it. Otherwise, Anthony mentioned loving Tom Kha, and I specifically love Tom Kha Guy. And there are a few Thai places that make great Tom Kha Guy, but I go to Luck Thai on Fifth Avenue in Park Slope. Go get their Tom Kha Guy.
Oh yeah,
it's delicious. It's delicious.
Amazing.
But Soup Bowl again, it's devoted only to soups, only open during soup season. They rotate the soups they have, so you never know what it's going to be. There's usually about like 10 to 15 of them in rotation at any time. And when I'm in Manhattan, I'm always open to stopping at a Hale and Hardy. That's less unique, but it's sometimes you just need to stop and sample some soups.
Yeah.
Not too many. You don't want to annoy them. There might be a line, but
Danny and I love Hale and Hardy. It's one of our favorite places to get soup. For sure.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah. While you're in Manhattan, there's this wonderful place called Brodo Broth Company in which Danny and I are obsessed with, maybe just me.
Okay.
But it's just broth, and it comes in like a coffee cup, and it's like a drinkable broth. And they have bone broth, vegetable broth, and Danny and I.
Very healing.
Yes, very healing. We're big fans. We've taken promotional pictures for them that they haven't seen yet, but they exist. They're on Instagram.
The name one more time.
Brodo, Brodo.
Okay.
And you can find them at Brodo on Instagram.
Okay, great.
Just a little explanation as to why I'm losing my shit right now. Danny brings up Brodo broth without fail every single episode that we're on Soup Troop. Like every single time without fail, Danny manages to bring it up, whether it's relevant or not. This is just lucky because it was relevant. But if you've seen any of our past episodes, Danny brings it up every single time.
It's a great experience.
Are you getting paid sponsorship money?
No, but we should.
That's our goal. That's our long term.
Yeah.
Seems really fair. You're giving them a lot of free advertisement. So
exactly.
Our production photos are like magnificent. You have to see.
If you go stalk our Instagram account, one of our first posts was our promotional photos for Brodo Broth Company.
Fantastic.
All right, it is the time, Lance. We will be playing one of our signature games here on Soup Troop.
Great.
Called Speed Round.
Whoa.
So how this game works is we're going to name off a couple of things that you've written, and you have to give us the soup that you think that piece of writing would be. So don't think too much about it. It's again called speed round.
Okay.
So don't think about it too much. Just rattle off the soups that you think that your pieces of work would be. Are you ready?
Okay, great.
All right, Lance Rubin, we are playing speed round, and away we go. Crying, laughing.
Hot and sour soup.
Broadway Bounty Hunter.
Sorry, I want to try and get this somewhat accurate. Corn chowder with like a lot of crazy stuff thrown in.
Yeah. Denton Little's death date.
Bone broth. Yeah, let's go with bone broth. Bones meaning death.
Denton Little's still not dead.
Yeah. Let's go. I'm running out of. Let's go broccoli cauliflower soup.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The Lost Causes of Bleak Creek.
Oh God. Okay, that book takes place in the 90s. So for that one, let's do the broccoli cheese, the Chili's broccoli cheese cheddar soup, whatever. Yeah.
And finally, our last question on speed round is it's a whole spiel.
It's a whole spiel. Matzo ball soup. I mean, that's a book all about the Jewish experience. That's a matzo ball soup. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you completed speed round.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. This is the time of day in which we are going to transition to our Q&A section. So if you have questions for Lance Rubin, leave them in the comments below. We'll try to get to as many as we can. So this is from Andy J, who says, Lance, if there was a soup inspired by you, what would it be and what would it be called?
Oh, cool. Let's make it a chowder. Yeah, let's make it a corn chowder based. Let's throw in. Let's see. Let's throw. I don't know. Okay, it's got a corn chowder and it's got like little pieces of cucumber in there, so there's like a little like crunchy wonderfulness. It's got maybe just like these tiny crouton bits, and it's just called Boom. Do you want some Boom?
Yeah. I want some Boom.
Yeah. I think we'll put more things in as we kind of test it, but Boom.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be serving Boom at our Soup Troupe live performance, so you can get there.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you.
Absolutely. Anna Spenley says, instead of the Nutcracker Ballet, it is transformed into the Soup Cracker Ballet. Which soup and cracker star in this beautiful new ballet?
Anna Spenley is nailing the Q&A today. I gotta say, Anna, you're doing great. Okay, this is the soup cracker. I think it's a very elegant, simple broth. And just like a Ritz cracker, but like the healthy brand of Ritz, you know, when like the healthy company comes out with like the Ritz cracker, but it's really just a Ritz cracker, but they're like, no, this is like the natural Ritz cracker. And that's what's going on in the soup cracker.
Oh yeah, I can see it now.
It's just an elegant broth. It's delicious. It's great.
Yeah. Sam Vanna says, scientists around the world rejoice at the discovery that the cure for the common cold is, in fact, a hearty soup. Which soup restorative do you think was hiding under our noses the whole time?
Oh, man. Are there any soups with ginger in them? I think it's like a hearty ginger soup. I don't know what this soup is that's been hiding under our noses. But let's assume somewhere there's like some kind of like chicken vegetable ginger soup. That's it. Because I think it's just a soup that kind of exists that just needs that ginger, and that's what's going to kick the immune system into high gear.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Our final question comes from C. Hargrove, who says, "'Tis the season for Miss Perry's All I Want for Christmas Is You." Except this year, she changed it to All I Want for Christmas Is Soup. What soup do you think would truly encompass this iconic song?
Ooh. All I want for Christmas is. Okay, here's a question for you, because I think it's a peppermint soup. Does that exist? I know there are mint soups.
Maybe like a Vichy Swat type of thing?
Yeah,
I think it's cucumber and mint. I'm gonna say that's what's in the soup.
yeah, but can you heat that up, or does that have to be cold?
You can. It's soup. You can do whatever you want. You can heat it up.
Whatever you want. Okay. Yeah. So I think Mariah's holding this big bowl, this steaming bowl of cucumber mint. So I just want that mint in the air, so it's very festive.
The menu for this live performance is currently onion ginger soup and warm vichyssoise. So we're going strong.
Piping hot vichyssoise.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Yes, no, it's all
Our
good.
crew is gonna have to bring it on set for sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk to craft services and see what we can do.
Yeah, great. You've got craft services, right? Yeah. This is like Mayor of Easttown. Mayor of Easttown going on over here.
As long as I can meet Kate Winslet, I'll be very satisfied.
Yeah.
All right, that is all the time we have for today. Lance, thank you so very much for coming on our show. We had a lovely time with you. And be sure to catch Lance and buy his book, Crying Laughing, or his other books, Denton Little's Death Date, Denton Little's Still Not Dead. Be sure to get all of those amazing books, and make sure that you follow Lance on his Instagram below, Lance Rubin Party, to see all of his new works and such. So thank you so much again for being with us.
Thank you. You're both wonderful. This was a delight.
Thank you so much. Well, everyone at home, please join us in giving Lance Rubin a 1, 2, 3.
We're here for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was Lance Rubin. You simply must follow him and catch all of the amazing books that he's written. And with that being said, this was a lovely episode of Soup Troop. You must follow us online on Instagram at Soup Troop Official, on Facebook at Soup Troop Online, or you can like and subscribe to this video and channel below.
To read more about Soup Troop Online, you can find us on BroadwayWorld.com, and the link is in our description below.
That being said, this has been so fun. I'm Danny.
And I'm Danny.
And this
has been Soup Troop Online.
Everyone, let's do a 1, 2, 3. Have a
super day.
Bye, guys.
Soup Troop. S for the sweet, sweet soup we eat at lunch all day, all week. O for always join us after lunch in the canteen. Q for everything to jump together through any room. Please welcome members from every troop on next right now. S for the sweet, sweet soup we eat at lunch all day, all week. O for always join us after lunch in the canteen. Q for everything to jump together through any room. P for please come join us at the meeting at Soup Troop.